Alright, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to cover kind of 2 to 3 different things, but these are all going to be kind of smaller things. The first thing I'm going to cover, and this is something I should have covered in one of my last videos, but this is just a basically blank email. I've never used it. I made it for this specifically, so we're just going to send it to ourselves. So it's pen test teacher. Then we're just going to say subject, say hilarious video or something, right? And then, so I'm going to show you guys. Basically, just going to show you guys how to hide links. Check out this hilarious video. Right? We'll just say that. I put one I in there. I shouldn't have, but that's alright. Alright, and then we'll just say here, we'll say insert link. Okay, so display text, we'll say hilarious video, right? Something like that. HTTP, we'll just say, so this is where you'd put whatever you wanted, right? So let's say I was trying to get you to go to a vicious link. Obviously, I don't want to actually do that in this. We'll just say youtube.com, so save. So now look, so when you send this email, right? Now, if it's a YouTube video, obviously it's going to put this, but you can take this out. So I can remove it. Here we go. So you make this whole email with the link to your Facebook or something like that, and say, hey, check out this funny video on Facebook. And when they click it, they think they have to log in, right? And when they do that, it actually takes them to that. Now, this is obviously editing mode, so it's not working. But if I send this to you, you can't edit this link, but you can click on it. So when you click on it, it'll take me to whatever I tell it to. So that's one way. Before I showed you guys how to use Bit, what's it called? I can't remember where it shortens the link for you. I showed you how to do that. That's a good way to hide it. This is another way to hide it. You can mix and match them. So like you could, because some tech savvy people will actually look at the link and say like, where's this taking me, right? Before I click on it. And you can easily say, make the link a fake YouTube link or whatever using those tools, and then upload or have that in here. So if someone just goes like this real quick and goes, oh, it's YouTube, okay, and clicks on it, right? They're not worried about it. Now, keep in mind this isn't foolproof by any means. It's only going to get a handful of people. Some people are going to notice it. Some people are going to, but this is a way, and this is why some larger corporations and government entities actually make their emails come in plain text. So this link would show the full link. It would not allow that link to be sent that way. So keep that in mind as well. That you have to know their email policies and things. So that's the first thing I'm going to show you guys. That's super easy. Most people don't realize that how easy it is to actually hide the links. I mean, you can literally just hide them and nobody knows where they're going. And then that's an easy way to get people. So that's our first thing. Now our next one is a DOS attack. Okay, if you guys have never knew what DOS is, you probably do, especially if you've ever played video games. Never heard of getting DDoSed or anything like that. So DOS is just denial of service, right? So the interesting thing about DOS attacks is people don't realize that anything with an IP address can technically send a ping. Okay? The reason that's important is because there have been really, really large corporations and websites brought down by light bulbs and smart devices like Alexa and everything. Because those smart devices like smart light bulbs and smart, the speakers and all that stuff, smart TVs, smart refrigerators, all those have an IP address. So what that means is they actually can send and receive data. So what people do is they make what's called a botnet or a zombie, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's a computer that you have, or a device or computer that you have control of, and you can make it send a ping out, right? And they just get thousands of these, and they have them just sitting there, and they're not doing anything. And then at once they'll say, send information to this one source. Now, there's a couple of things with that. Number one, obviously, it's going to bring that server or computer or whatever to either crash it or to a halt. Now, there's too much data going in at once. It can't handle it, things like that. So that's first thing it's going to do. That's why you're denying service, denial of service. Or the other thing what I'm talking about with the botnet is DDoS, which is distributed denial of service, which just means it's denial of service distributed by many people. Now, the other thing with DDoS that helps out is anonymity, okay? So if I send you a DDoS attack from just my computer, you're going to notice very quickly if something crashes and you go look at your logs or you, look at any of your network traffic, you're going to notice really quickly that one IP sent you a ton of information. So you're going to be like, well, clearly it's him, right? Well, if you have thousands sending it, you have no idea who the attacker was, where it's coming from. So that's another thing. Anonymity is a big thing. So what we're going to show you here is just a DOS attack, not DDoS, just a DOS, because this is the basics behind both of the attacks. One just uses multiple sources, one does not. So okay, so here's our IP address we've got here, default gateway IP, boom, 130, right? And we can see here, I'll show you, this is kind of, we'll show you guys. So this is the Windows 10 evaluation version. So you can see here that I can go to Yahoo. I can do whatever on this machine. You know, it works. That's kind of important to see. Okay, so now we'll close it. And then we'll go to here. So what we're going to use is a tool called hping. If you guys have never used hping. Okay, so hping is just another, you can use it for a lot of things, but it can map networks and ping devices, and basically it's a more dynamic ping tool. Okay, we'll leave it at that. You could go into a lot of detail with what you can do with hping, but anyway, so hping 3 is the actual command to open hping. If you type hping 3 by itself, it'll open a command prompt where you can just type the rest. It just keeps letting you use it as a command prompt. That's called interactive mode. And then so here you have the TAC S, then this is where it gets important. The IP address, that's the IP address of the target, okay? Then you have the IP address of your host, so who's sending the attack, okay? Now, like I said, most people aren't going to do a DOS attack anymore. DOS attacks don't really work as much because computers can handle a lot more data, so realistically, am I going to be able to send you enough packets from my computer alone to crash your system without getting caught? No. Not realistically. So DDoS is much more popular now, which most people know that from old Xbox days. That used to happen all the time. So then I'm going to send it on port 22, and then I'm going to send the flood, okay? So that just means keep flooding it with information, send it large amounts of information. So now we're just going to hit enter, and that's going to keep going. So until I tell it to stop, it's just going to keep going, okay? And you notice it's going to say no replies will be shown. So you would basically crash your own system if you're sending it out, and every time they reply too, it's just nonstop sending you information. Now, you can hear, I don't know if you can hear it, but my computer instantly started fanning up because I'm crashing basically my own virtual machine. So now you can see, watch how much slower this machine goes. Look, I clicked internet, still waiting. Now this machine didn't crash, but look at how slow it's going. Like, I can't even click anything. Everything's not responding, super slow. Now, if you imagine, sending this from 10 different people to this one device. So you can see, now you can use Wireshark and watch these packets come in if you want. I don't think it's that big of a deal to show you that. But you can see how much slower it's running. Like, it's not you notice the not responding circle almost I clicked yahoo.com 10 seconds ago. Nothing is responding. It's super, super slow. This is loading, not working. Everything is coming to basically a grinding halt. Okay, so now we'll go here and we'll cancel it. So you can see it says you sent 4,130,541. And you notice I stopped it, and the second I stopped it, this loaded. So that's what DOSing can do. Okay, it basically, and another thing I'll show you. Now, you can see here that the only thing not on, because this is just an evaluation version of Windows, the only thing not on is the virus protection. Okay, there's nothing. The port firewall network protection is on. So what that means is it's still getting through the firewall. Okay, so that's getting through this firewall. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is on a large scale system, a modem or a router will probably stop that specific attack. Now, there's a million different, so we'll just go to google.com and show you that it's way faster. So it's already loaded. So you can see how much faster it is. Now, the thing to keep in mind is there's tools out there that can help you with the um, botnet portion of it. Okay, what that means is they can actually send all the information or all the commands at once that say, you know, send out a ping now to everything. There's tools out there that do that. Now the difference is this: all they're doing is exactly what I just showed you. They're just sending large amounts of data. Okay, and you can use ping to do it. There's what's called the ping of death. You can use hping to do it, which is what I just did. The only reason I use hping is because I knew it worked and it's easy. The ping of death really is typically blocked almost by everything now. Again, there's outdated systems, but the ping of death is simple. It's just sending as much as you can with the ping command, pretty much, and flooding. Super simple. But you can see exactly how much faster everything was. That hping, if you keep it running, if I kept it going, it would probably crash my system. The reason being is my system's running it and receiving it. Now, granted, the Kali's the virtual one that's sending it, but my system would have to work very, very hard to keep everything going. So it probably would crash my system eventually, but I'm not going to let it run that long. I just want to show you guys that and show you guys exactly what DOSing is. I know most people know what it is and are familiar with it, but you need to be able to understand how to do it. So you can rewind the video, go back to that hping command, and use it to try and crash a system that you obviously have permission on. So if you have an old laptop, turn it on, have it on your network and send it that ping and try and, you want to be familiar with the syntax of the hping command, and you want to be familiar with what DOSing can actually do, because some people think it's just like people that are just familiar with gaming or anything like that might think, oh, it just kicks me off my line. Well, what it's doing is it's actually eating up your resources. So your computer has RAM, it has CPU, it has all that stuff. It's eating them up. It's making your computer work too hard to process all that data at once, and it's not giving it a break, and it's just pushing until that computer just says, I can't handle this anymore, and basically blows up. Not literally, it's just going to shut down and say, I'm not working anymore. But keep that in mind. Mess with it. I really recommend downloading Wireshark on the victim machine, like this machine right here. But if it wasn't for the fact that I'm in a hotel and my download is so freaking slow, I would have done it. But basically, download Wireshark, run it on this, and watch the packets come in and watch how much data is actually getting pushed in there. And then you'll understand why DOSing is so valuable, I guess, in a sense. For instance, Amazon got brought down by a DDoS attack a couple years ago, and that cost them millions, and it was only down for a couple hours because so many people are buying stuff on that website that it was millions of dollars, and it got actually brought down by light bulbs and speakers and stuff. Because, okay, so the reason those things are used in DDoS attacks, because people don't quite understand why. People that have them in their house don't understand why they're a risk, and it's because just like your computer, right? Those need updates. So what that means is your computer, a vulnerability comes out. Someone says, hey, I figured out how to hack this. I can break into the new Windows with this. Boom, 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 whatever. And then Windows pushes out that update. It says, we fixed it. Get it on your system so you're safe, right? Those speakers, the light bulbs, the smart plugs, like all that stuff, they need updates too. They're a computer, right? Who's updating them? I don't know anyone that goes in and updates their stuff like that. I don't know anyone that asks Alexa or whatever to update, right? So I don't even know if that works, but I'm just saying those have to be updated too, and no one's updating them. So every time they're outdated like that, or the updates get pushed behind, whether Alexa's the company, Amazon, Echo, and all that stuff, all those companies, what they don't make it a priority, right? And that's because ease of use takes over for security. So that's why I say this is such a valuable attack to know, and a valuable attack to understand, to truly understand what's happening. Because if this ever happened to you, for instance, on your computer, you could catch this very easily, right? You could figure out exactly what's happening very easily. Now, when you do, if it's coming from one computer, very easy to catch who did it. Obviously, that IP address is who it is, right? If it's coming from thousands of computers, you need to figure out, number one, why you're a target of this. There's got to be something going on, right? Typically, you're not going to be a target of this unless you piss someone off. So this can bring your router to a crashing halt real fast, which is what happens most of the time. That's what happens when you get kicked offline. When you piss someone off in a video game or something, that's what they did. Is they sent you a DDoS attack. That DDoS attack took up your resources for your modem or router, and you can't get out now. So keep this stuff in mind. Really understand the attack. It's a super simple attack, but I want you guys to practice it, use it, and understand what you can do. Mess around with HPing as well, because there's more than just the flood attack that you can do with it. But yeah, understand what you guys are doing, practice it so you can really get used to it, and run Wireshark and watch these packets come in. This is a very simple lab, guys. I didn't want to harp on it too long, but that's going to do it for the video. I just wanted to show you guys and show you guys what it actually does as the end result. You saw how slow the machine was actually going. Like I said, if you keep it running, it probably would just crash. So I wanted to show you guys, let you guys see it and understand what's happening, and then understand that this can happen with not just computers. Servers can be brought down. Like I said, resources can be brought down. So, for instance, if you do have let's say a smart light bulb, right, and it's off, and you're trying to turn it on with an app, but someone was DDoSing it theoretically, right? That light bulb's not going to respond to anything you do. It's just going to sit there. That's a simple attack because those don't have a lot of resources, so it wouldn't be hard to take one of those down. Now, obviously, no one really cares if your light bulb doesn't work, but that's an example. It can take down anything: a tablet, a server, a computer, anything, a router, modem, switch. So keep that in mind, because if you're running a system and let's say one of your switches gets taken out, well, that's a big problem, right? Your network now can't communicate, and your entire network is screwed at that point. So keep that in mind and understand that it's not just a computer that can be brought down. It's much broader and very, very dangerous if done correctly. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button, and we're going to try and keep these videos popping out while I'm here and keep as many as I can coming out. So thanks.